later in the day, if I do lighter meals, that a good thing? I feel like that's a big
Yes,
deal. Yeah, like
it is a good
I feel
thing.
like yeah,
It's not the most important thing. If your total daily intake is going to be, let's say, you're 1,400 calories. Let's just use that as a number, 1,400 calories, and you had most of your food in the early part, or more of your food in the early part, and then, or versus more of your food in the later part. It would be better to have more of your food in the earlier part of the day, but it's not going to be a make or break. It's going to be to your benefit. So you can over time have better progress doing that, just because you tend to burn more calories earlier in the day because you're at work, you're moving around at night, you're sedentary. So if you eat more calories at night when you're not doing anything, those calories tend to sit around more easily than if you were to eat them at breakfast, if you were to eat them at lunch, if you eat them earlier in the day where you're still moving around, you're still at work, you still have activities that you have to perform that are physical, so and mental. So yeah, it would be better if you could time it so that things would happen earlier. But on the flip side, there are some people who have a very, very difficult time being able to stay on a diet plan that would rob them of their dinner, because typically people look forward to going home after a hard day's work and eating everything in sight, because it helps them to unwind, it helps them to relax, it helps them to forget about what they endured, it helps them to not have to think about the next day. So they look forward to dinner, and sometimes it's just dinner with family. We have a big dinner. It's just a nice gathering. So that habit is very hard to break for many individuals. So I would never say you have to go on a diet plan where dinner is your smallest meal, because that would sabotage the efforts of the vast majority of people who would ever want to burn fat. So I'm not saying that that has to be the way that it is. What I
yep,
am saying is, if you are going to make a conscious effort to say, I'm going to restructure my meals in such a way that's going to be best for fat burning, then I would say try and get more of your calories in earlier in the day, and then keep the dinner as small as you feel that you can,
yep,
in order to be able to, because you're just going to go to bed soon thereafter. So it would be better to shift those calories earlier, but it's not a
yeah,
make or break issue. I don't want you to sacrifice your consistency because you have to reduce dinner to a point where you feel as if you're missing something major after leaving work and going home, and it's a hindrance, and it actually increases your temptation to do more damage the next day. I don't want that to happen. What I want is to make sure and you have to monitor your own thought process as you go through this to make sure that you understand this is triggering me or this is not triggering me, and then let me know about that, and we can make a change based on how you feel.
yep, yeah. There's definitely days where I feel the need to have the larger dinner, and then there's other days where I feel like I can tolerate a more modest dinner. And on I've just kind of observed that I feel lighter, literally feel lighter in the morning the next day. And so
Yeah, you
yeah,
will.
that's what um so okay, that's
You
good to
will.
know.
It's absolutely better. It's if you can do that, it would be a better approach for your, if you measure fat loss on a continuum and you look at 3 months out, and what's my fat loss going to be in 3 months if I have a lighter dinner or a heavier dinner, there's going to be a noticeable difference between those numbers. It's not week to week, you're not going to notice a dramatic shift. It's not going to double because you're doing that. But it's going to be enough that it will over time accumulate to the point where it would be something that you should adopt if you feel psychologically you're able to endure it. And if you feel as if there's certain days where, yes, today I want to go home and have a larger meal, I feel as if it's a necessity because my day at work is going to be jam packed. I need something to look forward to. I need something to focus on once I leave work. Try to account for that in the prior meals of the day by making them lighter.
Yeah.
So you don't, because that's what will end up happening. If you have a big dinner, but you're just kind of leaving it to chance, you'll end up getting to a point where maybe that day you begin assuming that dinner is going to be light, but then you change your mind midway through and decide I'm going to have a big dinner, and then that day is a rather large day from start to finish. So if you can account for it the day before, just going into that next day, like I want to shift things around. Like today, I want to have the larger dinner. So I'm going to lighten things up earlier in the day. So that way, my total consumption for the day is approximately what it otherwise would be. If it were reversed, then that would be to your benefit.